This is not a decision that is being made to affect the policy of health care. It is being made to energize the political base of one side, and yet, unfortunately, it appears that they have energized both bases, but all against them. It is historic and unprecedented that we are now bribing public officials openly. It used to at least be done in secret where our kids didn't see it. Now we openly bribe them with $300 million at a time and tell them, this is what your vote is worth. You know what really upsets me? It's not just that Ben Nelson got $300 million. My senator got $0 for Arkansas. I don't want every senator to go forward and to see what they have to do to sell off their integrity. I don't want them to go up there and every one of them get something and then somehow go back and boast of, here's some money that I got for you. The last time we saw that kind of historic moment was 30 pieces of silver, and that didn't work out too well. For the passage of a bill that will adversely affect state budgets. And one of the things that has concerned me most about Ben Nelson and others who have served as governors is that they must have forgotten what it was like to govern a state. Because there's something unique about states that federal government officials seem to forget. They can continue to borrow money that they can't afford to pay back and spend money they don't have. But at the state, in every one of the states, you have to balance the budget. Now, the impact of this health care bill is going to affect not just Nebraska, but every single state in the union. In hundreds of millions of dollars in increased obligations. Nobody seems to be wanting to talk about that. First of all, I don't think a lot of the national press in Washington understand it. They're incapable of fully recognizing that there is a relationship between state and federal governments of a fiscal nature that is huge. And when the federal government makes a decision like they're making in the realm of health care, there is a dramatic wave that begins to come from Washington, flows all the way across the states, and it will have a huge impact upon state budgets, including Nebraska. I think what you'll find is that the $300 million that Senator Nelson got won't come close to accomplishing what it will cost you. And when your governor ends up in your legislature say, if you plan to money at the state level, just remember, don't hold your local officials responsible for all of that, because a whole lot of it is what the folks in Washington did to you. Remind them who voted for what in Washington. If the congressman stood tall and firm, reward them with re-election, and if they didn't, bring them home and let them help pay for the mess they goes by the moniker of Harry Reid. It should be Harry Houdini. Because here is a senator who believes that you can cut $500 billion out of the Medicare program while adding millions of new people to the rolls. That you can add 30 million more Americans to the health care coverage overall. And while you're cutting on one side and adding people in, that somehow you're going to be able to do that and reduce the deficit. Now that is the equivalent, my friend, of having 10 kids around a table with a bowl of food and saying, you're going to cut the bowl in half and you're going to bring 10 more kids in to eat and everybody's going to get more food. Is there anybody here who believes that? Well, they believe it in Washington. And that's why they need to come home and sit around your table and get an earful from you and find out exactly how much you consider